This video was brought to you by the lovely members of my Patreon.
You know, I gotta be honest with you guys, this YouTube shit is starting to get tired. I'm just gonna speak really frankly with you guys. I'm kind of tired of watching people try to cancel other people who have been racist or have said racist things, not because they give a fuck about Black people, not because they actually care about anti-Blackness, not because they actually care about making content that, you know, feels less alienating to Black folks, not to actually talk about the pain that is caused when people express anti-Blackness, but to cancel each other. It's honestly becoming a bit annoying, and I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of seeing it. And I'm tired of the amount of leeway people give these YouTubers. And that's kind of what we're gonna be talking about in this video, because as a lot of you guys know, a lot of things have come to a head recently, and I felt like now was an opportune time to have that conversation. Now look, you guys know me. I'm not somebody who necessarily likes to see everything in black and white. I believe that we are all in various sort of undulating shades of gray. So I wanna start out by saying that I believe people change. I firmly believe that people can change. Most of us who are maturing through life are constantly going through changes, constantly becoming more aware. And I think that there were a lot of people who made YouTube content who were making content without necessarily being as aware as we are right now in society. I remember being online when I was 15 years old and saying and doing things that were really shitty and weird. Less people were online, less people were on the internet. It was not the same sort of community that it is, which is part of why I get a little frustrated when people dig up really, really old tweets, not really understanding that we were not as aware as we are now. So I'm starting out by saying that people do indeed change and that we shouldn't necessarily always judge people for their old stuff, right? But let's talk about my real issue with this shit. Now, when you acknowledge that people can change, what you're doing there is giving them leeway. You're giving them the leeway to change. And what I wanted to talk about in this video is the amount of leeway that we give certain YouTubers, especially certain YouTubers who have engaged in racism. So I'll just speak about something that people have wanted me to talk about forever. We'll talk about it right now because I think it's relevant. So years ago, I saw Blaire White say this.
Dropping the N-word with the hard R, do you think it's acceptable or not?
I really don't care. That kind of stuff I really just don't care about. Like, it depends the context in which it's used, right? Are they going on the street and like yelling at Black people that they are that? Or are they using it for a comedic effect? Are they, you know, what's the context?
Let's say they just say it out of anger, but it's not necessarily at a Black person. They just literally use the N-word with a hard R because they're angry at someone and they scream it at them.
I don't care. And I'll be super honest. I like do that when I'm playing video games, or I do that if I like stub my toe. I do that, so I don't really care.
Now, while I've been vaguely aware of Blaire White for a really long time, I haven't really engaged with a lot of her content. But when I saw that clip, I said, well, hey, this just seems like an unproductive person who likes to say edgy things. And I just personally just don't really have a lot of patience or time or consideration for that. Now, does that mean I hate her the way that people keep trying to say that I do? No. I don't hate her. I don't have enough emotions towards her to hate her, right? Now, I think that from seeing this clip, I can piece together that she's changed because she's doing an interview with Onision, and I know that she's called Onision out. But for me, I just don't care enough to check back to see how much she's changed. Now, there are some people who will hear me say that and will say, well, Kat, what, you're just afraid of engaging with ideas. And here's what I really want for you guys to do while we're having this conversation. Think about all of these people who we're talking about being just normal people. Let's just say that Blaire White is just some random white girl who said to me, yeah, sometimes I say the N-word while I game. I would probably say, well, you know, you seem like a weirdo. I don't really want to hang out with you. And that would be a rational, reasonable boundary for me to make, especially being a Black person, right? Now, somehow when it becomes a YouTuber, suddenly now, well, we have to consider it, and maybe they've changed, and you guys give these people so much fucking leeway. Leeway you would not give these people if they weren't famous YouTubers. I mean, look, let's just really dissect this as an audience member. What you're asking me to do as an audience member in her fan base would be to listen to her say nigger and just swallow it. Now, there's some people who will say, well, you know what, it's just a word, don't let it bother you. I'm not offended by a word, sweetheart. I'm not offended by the N-word. The N-word being used doesn't offend me. It's not this magical word that just, ooh, now I'm triggered. It's more like, I understand that this person doesn't have empathy for how people could potentially react to that word, and they're just gonna belligerently say the word because they can. And to me, that just seems like a very antisocial person who I don't really wanna be around. A lot of people wanna do this thing where it's like, oh, I'm enduring the racism. I'm gonna keep watching it and I'm gonna just power through. And you think that makes you strong. Really what you're doing is not changing anything you've done before and continuing to do the same shit you've always done. What I'm discovering a lot of people don't necessarily do is draw that strong boundary for themselves, because drawing that strong boundary is hard. It is very hard to say, I'm not going to engage in my favorite content. And I'm not even saying you should or shouldn't do it, but I'm saying that you're not weak for doing it. You're not weak for feeling alienated by something that your favorite creator did and withdrawing your support from them. That does not make you weak. I've said and done and probably will continue to say and do things that are hurtful and unupsetting to other people. I don't want to, I don't always do that on purpose. And I think it would be silly for me to say, oh, you were hurt by my stuff? Well, I want you to sit around and watch me work it out. You know, no, I don't think you should have to do that. If you decided that my content is not for you, that the things that I've said are hurtful to you, I think not watching my stuff is a really strong decision for you to make. But for some reason, people want to sort of, I guess, suspension of disbelief and just continue to engage in content that hurts them. And I don't think that that's healthy. I think that a lot of people just love a redemption arc, and it's weird to see a redemption arc when the thing that they became irredeemable for was being racist. I think what some people are getting is that a person could have made mistakes and changed and be a totally different person, and you can also not support their content. You can acknowledge that someone's changed and done better and also move on. I mean, I understand that people get nostalgic for their favorite creators. I've got that too. You know, I get it, but there are so many other creators out there you can watch. There are so many other creators out there you can watch. Why do you give these people leeway? So bringing this back to the Shane Dawson thing, I'm tired. First of all, sis, I'm tired. Shane Dawson, I think, is a creator who's made some entertaining videos. I actually thought that his TanaCon videos were probably some of the best videos on YouTube. That all being said, Shane Dawson did blackface. And yes, Shane Dawson, I think like 5 or so years ago, released an apology. He apologized for his old blackface videos, and people are digging them up again, and they were trying to, you know, start shit, which always happens whenever a YouTuber does anything. People like to dig up old stuff and be like, hey, look at this, right? But let's be real, okay? Shane Dawson has published several series on his YouTube channel where the goal is basically to rehab people who are known to be racist. Jeffree Star being one of the most recent ones, where we've all seen that footage of Jeffree Star.
And then there is a second video that I've never really talked about.
Okay.
So the same drag queen that filmed this footage, and this is from 13 now, this is 13 years ago, I think. I was 19, and we are on the streets of Miami on the boardwalk. And there is a bunch of chicks screaming, you fucking faggot, freak, at me. So I turn around and I say some really vicious stuff back.
Shut up, you fucking bitch!
Now, what I've never said before, because I feel like if you try to defend something like racism or saying something really awful, it just doesn't ever work out.
Yeah.
But if you go and find the footage, the people I'm screaming at are Caucasian. Yeah, what I said was racist,
Yeah.
but I wasn't saying it to a person of color. I was saying a horrible, offensive word to cut back at someone calling me something awful. So it's not about race, it's not about any of that. It was just about being an offensive, attention-seeking, angry person.
I think that it's interesting that that was the person he chose to get close to. That was a person he chose to befriend, right? A person who's done racist shit, clearly done racist shit.
The word of the day is nigga.
And when you look at a lot of the people who he associates with, also people who have done racist shit. And I think to some degree, you have to sort of back away from it all and think, well, if this is the company that he keeps, what does it say about him? Now, listen, I get annoyed whenever somebody tries to get me to answer for something that Natalie did, right? So I don't necessarily love this grouping all these YouTubers together and then asking them to be accountable for things that they didn't do, right? But that being said, I think there's a pattern with Shane Dawson that I think people just like to ignore for some reason. And, you know, it's interesting to me how people continue to give him a chance, give people like him a chance, and they keep doing that and then getting shocked when something racist comes up.
Oh, nigga, bitch, monkey woman, you're the best.
It's just, I don't know. I don't understand the leeway, and I would love for someone to explain that to me. Like, I think the thing that's aggravating for me about watching Shane is a grown ass man, and people act like he is a child, like a sweet baby who didn't know any better. And oh my gosh, like, let's protect it. It's like, Shane is a grown man doing grown man things. I'm not gonna say that he's not sensitive. I'm not gonna say that he probably doesn't have problems. I'm not gonna say that at all. Everyone has problems. I'm sure he has them too. But the infantilization of these people is so interesting to me. People are gonna act like Shane Dawson didn't know that blackface was bad in the early 2000s when everyone already knew blackface was bad and stop doing it, you know? Like, I think one of the most healing realizations I've had in life is that some people just do be racist, you know? Some people they just do be problematic. And I understand the impulse to give people leeway. I totally get it. I understand why that happens. I think that it's natural to want to believe that someone just doesn't know any better. But there are some people who really just do be racist, and it's really not worth your energy or time to sit around to figure out which one it is. You know, if they are ignorant or they just do be racist. I'm seeing this interesting thing too, where there are YouTubers who are doing the Black Lives Matter thing, which I think is a net positive. I think posting about Black Lives Matter is a net positive for everyone, but it's also very trendy right now. You know, I thought it was interesting years ago that, you know, Tana Moja had, you know, Black Lives Matter as her Twitter name, right? And then it came out that she used to say the N-word in a very derogatory way. She first lied and said that she didn't know that it was a racist slur. And then things came out proving that she knew it was a racial slur.
You fucking nigger!
And it was like, we really hate to see the performance. We really hate to see this performance of wokeness to out-woke the other white bloggers, you know? It's just a little much for me. And it's gotten me to the point where I can't really necessarily trust what these people perform, you know? A lot of people, when they've been in racist shit, they just get a black friend. And that's supposed to be the thing that makes them look less racist. I mean, recently, one of Tana Moja's black friends came out and said that she was racist towards him.
Had I done half the things, or any other black creator done half the things that she's done in her career, we wouldn't be able to keep making videos and have support.
And much like I said to Cam Lester, I'm gonna say I don't necessarily know what you expected. I don't really know what you expected. I also wanted to come in and tell you guys a bit about the black woman that you've seen in the past 2 clips that I've shown of Shane Dawson. This is a woman named Shana Malcolm, and she used to be in a lot of Shane Dawson's old videos, and I've actually met her. I met her at a couple of YouTube Black events, and we've had a couple of conversations, and one of the things that she shared with me is that she has found herself in the position where she has essentially been pigeonholed. She has been used to playing certain roles in videos like Shane and in a couple of other YouTube projects that in her personal feelings now, today, perpetuate racism. And she no longer feels comfortable doing that. And she's had a hard time finding roles that she feels proud of that really highlight her talents as an actress. And I feel like it's important to point this out because obviously she existed in Shane Dawson's videos to excuse his racism. I'm not saying that I don't understand why these people work together. Let's be real. A lot of these YouTubers only interact with each other because they want to benefit from the subscribers and the collaborations. Like, a lot of these people aren't really friends. They're literally just around each other because they know it's going to be helpful to them. So I also watched Jenna Marbles' videos. I think Jenna Marbles has, at least in my opinion, demonstrated that she is an ally and is fighting, you know, for the right stuff. And even watching her video, the impression that I got is that she's been making a genuine, concerted effort to be better. And I think that that's great. I think that that's what most people should be doing. I don't think she had to really necessarily make an apology, if I'm being completely honest. I think it's great that she acknowledged it. I think it's great that she acknowledged her racism currently. My problem with it was when she left. And now when she leaves, it's gonna become, well, she was bullied off the platform and all these people talking about racism are the problem. And it's like, I think that that really does flip the narrative. What's really happening is, at least my interpretation is, Jenna Marbles is trying to restructure her thought process because she doesn't want to hurt other people. Now, I definitely think, and I've adjusted in this way, that you can really lose yourself in trying so hard not to offend anyone. There will always be somebody who's going to be offended by something you say. That's just the reality of being a person speaking, period. I think it's fairly easy not to be racist. I think it's fairly easy not to put people in a position where they feel like the inherent things that they were born with are worthy of being made fun of. I think that that's easy. But I think that at the end of the day, it was a nice sentiment that she made the video, but we didn't need her to leave too. I know that I'm making a video about these people, but I'm tired of hearing about these people. I'm literally sitting here watching a person who's done blackface defend a person who has said the N-word, who is being attacked by a person who said that sometimes you can use the N-word. It really just depends on the context. I don't know, maybe I'm not saying the right stuff in this video. I don't get it. I think for me as a black girl, I think it's just become really obvious at this point that no one really cares about fighting against racism. They just want to cancel each other. That's just kind of what this all is. So it all just seems like a performance and a really, 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 really tired one. Just a really tired one. I'm tired of watching people try to cancel each other because of racism that they don't care about when they're racist themselves. And I'm tired of people being so shocked when people who have been clearly and obviously racist turn out to be racist. I don't know why people are still so shocked by that. I don't quite get it. I wish that people would just unsubscribe from these YouTubers and just start watching people who are less problematic. There are so many YouTubers out there who don't say the N-word and don't defend saying the N-word and don't do blackface. Like, the bar is literally on the ground. If you like Jeffree Star and you like Shane Dawson, you'll probably like Bailey Sarian or Drew Gooden or Danny Gonzalez or Curtis Connor. You'll probably love all those people. You know, I love all those people and they do really interesting content that I think is really great and makes me smile and makes me happy, keeps me entertained, you know. I absolutely love what they do and they don't have this history of anti-black racism. It's possible that you can support both Shane Dawson and the people I just mentioned, but I just don't understand why. I don't understand why you would do that, knowing what you know. People change, but who cares? That's where I'm at. But who cares? I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm not a crazy fan of any of these people that I don't get it. I don't get it. If you see a creator doing something that makes you upset, I don't think that you're wrong for saying, I don't care for that person anymore and moving forward. I wish more people would just do that. We've been talking a lot about rationing our energy in a productive way And I just think that it's not really worth most of your energies to sit around and just hope, wish, and pray that the person who you've seen be racist isn't racist anymore. It just doesn't necessarily make sense. Sure, they can change, but why do you care? Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed. I've been ranting forever, and I think it's time for me to go to bed. Let me know what you guys think about all of this stuff. It's all just so ridiculous, and I'm over it. Maybe you are too. Let me know if you are. All right, bye.